Hello, mindful friends. Today we're going to be talking about the power of observation. So we've talked about how mindfulness helps us to pause and create that space between stimulus and our reaction or response. And then what it helps us do is cultivate the ability to observe. So observation is so powerful because it's a time when we step away from the judging, the trying to solve, the projecting our expectations and ideas on others and the world and ourselves, and we just sit back with curiosity and we take in what is happening within and around us. So like anything in a learning process, if you just plow forward, taking action, and you never pause to understand and learn about your surroundings or these objects you're working with or the people you're working with, you don't do things very effectively, right? So those actions that you take aren't really helping that much, and they don't really help you to learn or grow because you're not taking in any information to be used to adapt, modify, expand, etc. So you're just taking action on past knowledge or past experience or what you think is correct, but you don't get to really observe and use new information and what's really going on right here. So this power of observation is what gives you the patience, the peace, and the perspective to be able to step back, stop the action, stop the projecting onto the world around you, and watch and listen, and above all, feel. Because oftentimes we act without ever taking a pause and saying, how do I feel inside? What is this creating? And that this power of observation gives us the ability to then really develop an understanding and create a response that serves us really well. But we can't create that, well-serving response if we've just jumped into action from our knee-jerk and past beliefs. So that observation phase is what allows in the new information, allows in the stimulus in the world around you, what's really happening in this moment, free from your story that you put upon it. So your story of what it should be or how you should be or what the world, is doing around you based on your perspective and what you're saying it's doing. But you really get to take I want to say yourself out of it, but all those past stories out of it, and you get to watch what's really going on here. And oftentimes when we do that, one, it quiets the story we're telling. So oftentimes we're telling a lot of stories of blame or what I have to do or what's going to happen next. Oh my gosh. And when we turn into observation mode, we step out of that storytelling, out of the projecting, and we say, I'm gonna take a peaceful moment and just watch. And that automatically starts to calm our system. Try it, just try it this week. Switch yourself from having to solve something, from having to, fix it all and be in charge of it all and control it all, and give yourself permission to just observe. And notice what that does. It's like, oh, I can take a peaceful moment here. I can take a pause and be present for what's going on right now, because I don't have that urgency and pressure to solve it. So give yourself permission. I love that word always. It's permission to observe. And then when we're observing, we're becoming the very curious observer. So mindfulness develops this deep sense of curiosity in us. We are like little explorers of the internal world and the world around us. And we want to really see and understand it without all of our prejudices and preconceived notions. We want to just watch and learn. So when you're observing, notice that this curiosity brings a sense of peace too, because we're not really pushing to find exactly what we want to find. We're not trying to force the world to be what we want, or we're not searching for evidence of our negative story. It's like this freeing experience. I can just observe what is. And in fact, I'm really excited to just observe what is. I'm really curious about it. So we come in as the curious observer. And then instead of trying to, like we're saying, fixing and solving and blaming, you can just kind of name. So you're observing and you're like a scientist. You're just naming what you're seeing. What's really happening? And most of the time, in our experiences, if we experience stress and anxiety, it's not because of, observing what's happening right now. It's because we're projecting a story onto it. What does that mean for next? What does that mean that I have to do? What's it mean that I have to solve? Oh my gosh, what's it telling me I did wrong? That's creating the anxiety. That's the story. So you'll notice when you become the observer, that all goes quiet. And there's this kind of peaceful, just noticing what's happening. And even in that state, we can say, oh, stomach clenching, butterfly, tight shoulders. You can even look in the world around you. What just happened? So, name exactly, what was said or what you're hearing, what you're feeling. And then, bringing it back to the sensory. What is your experience in this? Not what does it mean for later, what you have to do about it. What are you experiencing now? What do I feel in my body? And you'll notice that when you bring all of your senses back to this present moment, even if it's a hard situation that you thought was bringing up anxiety, it starts to calm that, because you're paying attention to and being with all these things that are they're just physical, tangible things right now. Blood rushing, heart pumping, shortness of breath. All right. So it is. And when you just observe, it will naturally start to calm you down, because what it's doing is bringing you back to this present moment where things are, they're tangible, they're here and now. You can understand them in this moment, and it takes you out of all those places of, where are you going next? What does it mean? Oh my gosh, trauma story. And you're just here, naming, observing, being curious. And that observation gives us such an upper hand. Because think about if you're moving through life with blinders on and one perspective, how effective are you going to be? You're pushing for your view, you're pushing for what you think your story is, for what it is, and you're plowing through life, you're hitting obstacles, you're hitting other people, you're knocking things down. What does observation give you? If you take those blinders off and you look and you're present, you get to really understand what's going on. You get to really see this moment. And all of that perspective starts giving you an understanding that you can then use to create a healthy response. So I invite you this week, become curious. Think of yourself as an explorer of the present moment. Feel in the present moment, look in the present moment, Name things in the present moment and just observe. So again, you're observing what that does for you, how it brings you back, and just giving yourself permission to be the observer, how that offers you a little bit of a calm space in this moment. If you like these talks and would like to join us for group sessions or individual coaching, you can visit us at newleafmindfulness.com. You can find my meditations on Insight Timer and my YouTube channel. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I hope to see you all very soon.